Appreciate it. So, yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Yeah.
Well, I don't think we can do this without talking about Optex, but I think people, uh, don't realize that Optex is just a small part of images. And if we're talking about being inclusive, we're talking about having an online presence that goes beyond simply your website. And so the alt text is the descriptive text that you can add. It's in the background unless you're using a screen reader like myself, or unless you're somebody who likes to look at people's web code. And it tells my screen reader that there's an image there, and then it will tell it whatever you have told it. So your description is an alternative text, and you can put things in there like the gender of the person, the color and type of the clothes that they're wearing. I think in the alt text you sent me for your picture, it says you're wearing a shirt that has or a blouse that's a mixture of pink and blue and purple. So you get to show your understanding of the visual aspect of the image, and I encourage people to try to make the description as compelling as the image was, because most people put some time and thought into their photos or into the stuff they're creating for their business. So I don't have any really like hard and fast rules for the alt text. What I would say, try to compel the message and try to put yourself in the place of the other person. But the images in alt text, and alt text is not only important for images, but also any item that you attach an image to. So if you attach an image to a button, a link, or a video, then that alt text has to be there. But beyond the alt text, we have emojis, stickers, and GIFs. And these are widely used even on websites. And so I used to tell people avoid GIFs altogether because they're not accessible. And they've gotten a little more accessible for screen readers, but I also discourage them because the GIFs could possibly trigger people with autism or ADHD or PTSD. But they've now offered a new option on GIFs where you can set them to either stop or start motion when somebody encounters the GIF. Now, most
Hmm.
people default to having it in motion when somebody arrives in it. I personally think the default should be stop motion because it really can take so little to trigger somebody with a mental or emotional disability. You know, it's something we don't always think about. The emojis and the stickers. Emojis are really accessible because they were created through an internet convention. They have to be discussed and voted on and approved in advance. And they're mostly simple images that are easy to add descriptions that everybody will understand. Even the ones that are people where I have issues where they want light skin, medium skin, dark skin, those are still relatively easy things to understand. So the emojis, it's not really a problem except for the I find quite often with social media posts, text messages, even sometimes with emails, people will use three, four, five emojis in a row. And the problem with that is my screen reader has to announce each of them separately. Now, if you did like, say, three smiley faces, my computer will say three smiley faces. It won't say smiley face three times unless you put a space between each of them, and then it will treat them as individuals. So,
Hmm.
being conscious about how many emojis you're using, what do they mean? Are you even sure what they mean? Sometimes I catch myself about the usual and I go, I don't really know what this means to me, much less what it might mean to the other person. So, be thoughtful. Every so often I'll run across a social media post and there'll be five or six or seven emojis in their profile, which means every time I see one of their posts, my computer has to read those descriptions again and again. So it's one of those things we don't think about much in the area of accessibility, but it's something we should be mindful about in